Happy Saturday, everyone. Get it started. Hit that thumbs up if you're rolling in. Enjoy. You can knock up mine after that, please. Okay, not late. And Tiffany, I literally wake up singing these songs. Guidance, you want a chicken party, mother chicken? You gotta hit that right. Let's get it started. Oh, that's amazing, Trishy.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And then we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? Hope you are well out there in YouTube land. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate your time. Today is October 5th, 2024. It is 6:40 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. How are my pearls? Good to see you all. Really do appreciate you all being here. I love to see you guys chat in here while the intro is going on. Thank you, Veronica. Hello, Jen. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Thank you all so much for joining me in the Sebastian Rogers case. We're not going to stop until Sebastian is found. It has been, what, 7 months, and the seasons are changing. And that can have some benefits to finding someone who may be out there. Whenever the leaves fall, hunters are out, and hopefully they can find something. We're going to get to all of that and more here in just a little bit. We are getting ready to go over that, YouTuber. But first, Nick has been on fire today in on X, formerly known as Twitter. And I think we're going to view some of that. People's like, oh my God, have you seen what Nick has been texting? And so we're just going to cut to it and go right there. He We're going to review some of the stuff. Of course, Nick has brought a lot of resources to the Sebastian Rogers case. I still call it Twitter too. Um, he's brought a lot of resources uh, in relation to the Sebastian Rogers case. He's, uh, really been digging deep. He has, again, a lot of resources, Dog the Bounty Hunter, um, and from literally coast to coast. I find him very impressive. I don't, we're probably around the same age, I would say. I don't know how old he is, but um, I find it impressive that the resources that he has acquired in just his uh, relatively short amount of time on Earth. Uh, so it's got a very good drive. So I'm going to read some of these to you. But guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Would greatly appreciate it if you guys would hit that thumbs up button. Consider becoming a Pearl if you haven't yet and you're able to. Would greatly appreciate that as well. Nick says 4 hours ago, I feel it in the air. We've heard your lies for 30 days. The nation has been spoon fed them for several months. So long, skunks. Time to light up America in green. Now they will hear us loud and clear as their time has finally come. I remember what my last weekend felt like before gearing up for court. Unfortunately for them, they don't know it's their last relaxed weekend for the next several years. Several years.
FBI, open up!
Mother chicken. Mother chicken. Cracking the whip. Cracking the whip. Cracking the whip. Um, sounds like he is onto something. I don't know what, but the way I take it, he's gearing up for some legal is what I'm gathering. I'm assuming they don't know it yet because it says um unfortunately for them, they don't know it's their last relaxed weekend for several years to come. So we'll have to, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Trishy. Is BHB court date with the pack this month? Betty has a court date. When is it? The 10th? Something like that. I think it's the 10th. Um, 4 hours ago, he also says, we don't shrink from controversy. From controversy, we welcome it. You wanted our attention, you've got it. Undivided. We literally counted how many words you've uttered since February. Don't believe me? Question mark. On September 17th, you made 91 statements in just over an hour and a half. NH, I don't know who. Uh it's kind of I would say maybe I don't want to say cryptic, but it's kind of uh if you know, I guess. That's what I mean. You think so, Nadia? You think so? We'll see. We'll see. Um, all right. Now let's see what else he's saying here. Um, oh, listen to this.
Years for this to start. Hey, do you guys realize that we've been waiting 2 years for this to start?
That's right.
2 years.
And let's do a sermon. Our timing is not God's timing.
Yeah,
So,
come on,
Lord,
that's
my
so good.
God,
Yeah.
why do you wait so long, Lord? Because we wait
it
so
was
long.
exactly the right time
And
and the right people we're supposed to be working with, and here we go.
And what does what did our pastors say? It was done for just the time. What is
Well, he's got a pew
it
pew.
called? Just the time.
Just as time as this.
Just the time as this. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll up.
Hey,
All right. So the rumors are true. Dogcast coming soon. Hashtag dog the bounty hunter. Hashtag dogcast. Lori, yay! Thank you so very much, my dear. Welcome to the Pearl family. Really appreciate your support, Lori. Pearls look amazing on you, darling. Thank you so much for your support. Y'all, please welcome our newest Pearl, Miss Lori, up in here. And thank you, NHGG. Really appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the comment as well, my dear. Really appreciate it. Oh yeah, Rachel. I have pew pews as well. But yeah, I was just kind of shocked that he had it on the count. I'm not shocked, but I was just it was on the table there, right? Um, what else? And just like that, comma, threats eliminated. 7 days. And just like that, threats eliminated. 7 days. Okay. Uh 4 hours ago, I wonder if they'll yap like that when we're standing side by side. Oh, snap, crackle pop. Ooh, dang. Holla, sister. Oh my God, SL. Thank you so much. That's amazing, my dear. Thank you so very much, my love. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, come on now, give our sweet SL a beep beep mother chicken. Okay? Give him a beep beep mother chicken. Okay? Really do appreciate that, SL. Let's we gotta get on down. We gotta get on down. On the train. Okay? Let's do it.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Beep beep mother chickens.
My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and goes.
Thank you so very much, SL, for gifting 10 pearl necklaces. Really do appreciate you, my friend. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, please give our SL a big thank you. Very sweet. All right. So I wonder if they'll yap like that when standing by side 4 hours ago. What else do we got? I love that he loves Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton, Walmart joined together to donate millions to Helen Flood response in East uh, Tennessee. That's amazing. So yeah, he's been on it. And just like that, threats eliminated. 7 days. Um, we don't shrink from controversy. We welcome it. You wanted our attention. You've got it undivided. We literally counted how many words you've uttered since February. Don't believe me? On September 17th, you made 91 statements in just over an hour and a half. Hashtag Sebastian Rogers. Someone wrote, they all have no clue, undivided attention indeed. To be able to shake out the trolls while covering Sebastian's case inside and out and doing what needs to be done requires a special skill set, which is true supporters of Sebastian have. Light it up green. That's awesome. And then, of course, I feel it in the air. We've heard your lies for 30 days. The nation has been spoon fed them for several months. So long, skunks. Time to light up America in green. Now they will hear us loud and clear as their time has finally come. I remember what my last weekend felt like before gearing up for court. Unfortunately for them, they don't know it's their last relaxed weekend for several years. Um, yep. There you go. I'm going to just refresh it to make sure he hasn't tweeted anything out. Nope. So there we go. So we'll just kind of have to see. Jen and Dawn, though, my green is shining. It is shining. I'm in and out all the time. I'm usually babysitting my grandbabies. Listen, we are mobile, Marlena. We are mobile. Okay? You can take us with you. Just set us in your pocket. Court for BHB is on the 10th with the pack. So it's 5 days from now, basically. 5 days from now. For several years, could he know that law enforcement is making arrest? I don't know. What's September 17th? Nicole, what's that? I got my green light on Sebastian in Springfield, Missouri. Oh, Peggy, that's so sweet. That's very sweet. Makes me think back to September 17th. I don't watch the channel Uglies. Oh, September 17th. That was. Are y'all talking about? I don't know what that is. What did Peggy say? Hello, Janice. Jude. Hello, Wanda. Don't tell anyone, but while I'm working. That's okay, Lori. We won't tell anyone. We're not telling anybody. And the last one was pretty specific. Yes. Yes, it was. It was a little specific. What's happening in 5 days? I know that Betty has, I think it's the thing with Chris in 5 days. 9/17 is the date. He said he counted. Oh, okay, gotcha. My green light is on my porch is shining bright for Sebastian. Thank you, Donna. Really appreciate you. My house and my playhouse are lit up green for Sebastian. Thank you, Groovy Gal. Hey, Muscles. How are you, darling? Yeah. Yes. And guys, I say it all the time, but I mean it. We are on the right side of history. We're on the right side of history. We are the ones supporting a father, the only parental figure that is looking, that is doing the interviews, that is being proactive in finding his son. That's right. That's okay. Uh, Warrior River, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Yes, hit that thumbs up button. Really just appreciate you being here, my friend. Very much so. You might get a membership. You never know. Just stay active. And I think it's like that's how it works is when it like I think the more active you are, it kind of goes by like that. That's what I hear at least anyways. I don't know. Thank you, Kathleen. So, hey Faye, good to see you, darling. Uh yes, prayers are with Seth for sure. Um, you know, Sebastian went missing in February. It was cold in February. We are getting ready to be, it's cold time of year getting ready to come up on us again. And it's been that long. The last time, I want me to look at this. How many? It has been 175 days today since Mrs. Proud Shoe did an interview for her son. 175 days today. Hey, Seth, good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. I wish it would cool off here. Well, it's gonna cool off fast enough. I don't like the cold. No friends, no activities, but gaming he was not allowed to do online because they did not want to super shame on them for not. Um, yeah, I mean, they didn't even, they used it as a reward system. Listen, there are times where you're just supposed to enjoy things, right? And I think that's the reason why you know, Seth would do things and let him, they would play Nintendo together, do whatever they needed to do. I can't imagine being the only parent who is out here, you know, being the only one. Donna, thank you so much, my dear. We have our green front and back porch lights, and my son said he wants to do a green light Christmas tree for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Oh, that's so sweet, Alicia. That's amazing. Hey, Trues Luth, I'm praying for you now, my friend. Oh, bless you. Uh, let's see here. Ain't no way I could be silent. I would be pleading for a safe return. I just don't get KP at all. Doesn't Sebastian matter? You know, that's the first thing you do is you look, right? You look. And I want to I want to go over something today. Because I have not went over this. And first I want to uh offer up my prayers and well wishes to a friend of ours of this channel, Mr. Peter Hyatt. Um, Peter is just one of the best humans on this platform, as far as I'm concerned. He is currently has cancer, and him, his family, need your prayers right now. Um, Peter, Pat Brown, Deception Detective, um, and they have always, I've always just appreciated their channels, very, very much so. Once sorry about that. And they have always never uh minced, their words and their analysis. And I think that those three are probably some of the best on YouTube. I think uh I'm trying to think of the other gentleman's name when I've taken his class. Oh my god. Just my mind, guys. On Chris's platform, McDonough from the interview room. Uh Thank you, Seth. Thank you for your prayers. Prayers for Peter Hyatt and hashtag Team Sebastian. May everyone be blessed. Amen. Amen. Steve Johnson. Yes. Steve Johnson offers classes as well. Of course, Gary, yeah, Dr. Gary, he's amazing as well. But um, Dr. Gary is more like, psychology. Uh, he's a, so anyway, so the language of Sebastian Rogers' stepfather. Yeah, Steve Johnson. Yeah. And it's not a very long live, but this is such a good live. And guys, I always say, always follow what the professionals are saying, right? Now, especially when they are, I think when you're like in the case, uh at the time, I think you have to be more guarded, uh to for the case's sake, right? But whenever someone is retired, um or is in that field, they will tell it to you, what at least their opinion on their experiences, based upon, for instance, being in the FBI, being homicide detectives, uh, statement analysis, word analysis, body language analysis, all of that. Peter Hyatt has, you name it, almost, Peter Hyatt has worked with them, the best of the best, truly, truly the best of the best. Um, he has worked on so many uh, high profile cases across the board. Let me thank some dear people here. RT to go. Thank you, sweetie PTs. Really do appreciate you. Thank you, love. Very generous. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you, RT to go. Thank you for your continued support, my friend. Truly do appreciate that. And of course, there's Serenity. All the professionals pretty much say the same thing, and they can't all be wrong, in my opinion. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. I agree. I agree, my sister. Holly, yes. Thank you, sweeties. Really do appreciate you both. Thank you so much. Yes, Auntie Ree, yes. He was just recently made public that he has been diagnosed with a rather rare uh, cancer. It's, from what I understand, it's almost two cancers in one, if that makes sense. I forget the name of it. I'll think of it in a minute. But he needs prayers. His family needs prayers. His wife needs prayers. His children, his doctors needs prayers. Everyone around him needs prayers. He needs prayers. Prayers work. Good vibes work. He needs it all. That is positive. So please keep him in your prayers. We are, um, my pearls are amazing, and I know that you guys give off prayers and good vibes and well wishes. So thank you all for that, truly. Link to Peter Hyatt's channel is in the description. And again, Peter, we are wishing you the absolute best, my friend, and keeping you in our prayers. Without further ado, we're going to get started on this. Um, it's about 40 some minutes. We're going to comment on this. Cancer is terrible, and my friend Grace needs your prayers, and her husband needs your prayers. Her husband is sick with cancer right now. We have been praying for Grace and her husband and their family as well. Cancer is horrible. It really is. Lakeside Lawyer Peter is a master real treasure. He really is. He really is. He's a treasure to our community, to say the very least. All right, without further ado, let's get started.
I think I'm getting there in terms of improving some of the quality of this, but okay, good. Actually, some of the behavioral analysis and then some thoughts on the interview itself. So behavioral analysis, the first thing we look for when a child goes missing is for the parents to cry out for the child. Absolutely just.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Seth Rogers, Sebastian, obviously Seth in here, he has done an interview with Peter Hyatt as well. Not that any other parents of Sebastian's has done an interview with just about anyone. I mean, they've done some on YouTube. Nancy Grace, of course, and a couple local news interviews.
Cry out for the child and to be what will appear to be at times distracted in interviews because they're spending all their effort and energy worried about what the child is experiencing at that moment. Just the pattern of innocent parents. And, regrettably, but beneficially in terms of analysis, in terms of understanding, there's been too many of these crimes to not have some form of data put together. And what we find.
And he's exactly right here. When I say it in, my way. This is not our first rodeo, right? We do have data that we have seen a number of these children wandering off, walking off, or at least saying that they walked off, and the behavior as the parents, right? And we know what is I don't want to say, well, more normal than not, how parents behave. You've seen, especially being in true crime, we've seen this and seen this and seen this. So there is data there. based upon all of these cases we have seen, reasonable. That there we go. What is a reasonable response? I'm still looking for the word, but more like not even appropriate. I'll find it in a second, but typical, yeah, but I'll figure it out in a minute.
It is no different than if you were out shopping and your child wandered off. You'd start yelling and looking immediately. In this particular case, 15-year-old Sebastian is autistic. I don't think in any way it's mild. I think there were significant challenges for him. In this case, he lived with his mother and his stepfather, who's ready to move to his father's.
It's quite unusual for a mother to say that her child walked out the door and refuses many times, allegedly, to take questions. He's very professional. That's extremely unusual because that's what mothers, fathers, family members do. Right? They want to clear up anything that they can.
And in that initial interview, the media,
and we see it for years, till the forever,
labeled it
never
breaking their
stopped.
silence, which I thought was an accurate tag
Listen
to
to
give
that.
it. And in that initial interview, the media labeled it breaking their silence, which I thought was an accurate tag to give it. And you ask yourself, well, why would anyone be silent when their child is missing?
Yes, mother and stepfather break their silence, as you will see in the very beginning. It will say, the news will say, we reached out to the mother and the stepfather. Nothing, no word as of late.
And I don't know of any circumstances where police have said be silent. I think the standards set long ago, polygraph me, get the media in front of me. I got to get my son or daughter's name out there, face out there, that sort of thing. We didn't see that. We had to have the silence broken. And so that first interview, I concluded in terms of statement analysis that mother and stepfather were concealing information about the case and the time period of the information that's missing was just before he went missing, just before he, in their words, he left. And so that I knew immediately something was wrong with this case. But some other observations.
You hear that?
I knew immediately something was wrong with this case.
Immediately. That's right. Most of us, Ramilla, we would be, if we could, stand in front of all of humanity, screaming for our kids. Yeah, they broke their silence to YouTubers. Yeah, well, it's interesting to me that their first interview was to a YouTuber. None of us, are that big of YouTubers. Um, so not the local media, I mean, allegedly made a huge stink uh to the local media about staying out of my yard. Not like the media coming to your house. It's not like they charge you anything. I would have said, "Oh my god, thank you so much for coming. Do you want some tea, some coffee? Can we get on, like, can you do a, like, now? Can we start something? Can we do a press conference? Let's get on this." Not trying to kick them out of the neighborhood, allegedly.
But some other observations on the language. Mother and stepfather did not give an indication that they knew he was dead, at least in the language. With respect to others' opinions on that, I could be wrong on it, but I'll explain why a little bit, why that is. So there was nothing for about a week, no calling out, nothing. And then we saw this video where, to me,
Yeah, well, I mean, the first interview on YouTube, they didn't show their face, right? Why would you not show your face? And then doing one for the local media, why would you not show your face? Like, that is could be the only comfort if Sebastian saw that, knowing that his mom is out there being proactive in trying to find him. Thank you, Golden Lily. I've been a Thank you, Lightfine. He's a good guy. Very good guy. But yeah, several interviews, not showing his face, not showing the face. Switching things up.
I'm not a body language expert, but it looked like a hostage video to me.
Oh, did it ever? Did it ever? I mean, you want to talk about odd. Odd. I mean, they were like, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I did forget about those lights. Yep, sure did, Mr. Foot. Uh-huh." It looked like a hostage situation. He is not kidding. It was like, I mean, in my opinion, there's no way in Hades, in my opinion, that KK ever did an interview outside of initially telling her story to law enforcement. I don't think she could have done one by herself, like an actual interview interrogation, not the initial where they take you down and they tell them what happened, right? I'm talking about like a second interview by herself. I don't think so. In my opinion, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Marlena, thank you so much, my friend. 8 months. Seth, if you're still in here, just know that we'll never give up on Sebastian. Keep being your son's voice. And Justin, thank you, my sweeties. I really appreciate every one of you pearls. Love you guys so much. Can't do it without you. Really appreciate you all.
Blink twice and tell me you're okay or you need rescue. where he dominated
Yes.
and he was in control of the information. After that,
That's what everybody was, said the uh entire time. He wasn't there. So why is he the one making the 911 calls? Why is he the one telling the stories? Why is he the one interjecting all the time? Doesn't make sense, right? I don't understand why he was the middleman between Seth and Katie, to be quite honest with you. But in my opinion, it was because so he could set his own narrative to whatever, telling KK this, telling Seth that. And that way it was a manipulating balancing act, in my opinion. Canadian Grandma, thank you so much for renewing your membership, my dear. I love your blue and gold macaw. I used to have a pair of blue and gold, so I'll have to dig them out, my photos out. Beautiful birds. Thank you so much, my
it is
dear.
if
Love
they
you.
have gone on a tour. And what it really is an apologetic tour, apology meaning defense of the stepfather.
Yes. Stepfather. In the Hands interview, that's like the second media that they ever did. Second local, the third interview that they've ever did for Sebastian. Second media interview. And what about you? The reporter says. And he says, it's rough. And then he says, people making judgments, it immediately defensive. Nothing about Sebastian. It's rough. And then, woe is me because of this, because of this. Nothing about Sebastian. Zero in that. It's rough, defensive. At that, when you are like that, when someone is sick, when someone is missing, when something is dire, you don't care about you. That's the last thing you're worried about. When you love someone like your kid or, your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, right? You are not worried about you. You love them more than you love yourself. Not here. Not here.
Now, I'm going to comment on some of the interviews. I can't separate which one is which. There's been too many. So they got the memo. People were upset they weren't speaking out. Now they're speaking out all the time, and the content is so important. The content is this: Chris is a great guy, and people should mind their own business. And a common theme for him is you better respect.
Riley's Nana is late. Hold on one second. Riley's Nana, to the office, please. You're being paged. Riley's Nana, to the office, please. You're being paged. We need a late slip for Riley's Nana. She is late, everyone. Riley's Nana is late. You're having major deja vu second time today. Deja vu. Uh, okay, we get a late slip for Riley's Nana. Good to see you, Riley's Nana. Thank you for joining us.
In all that I've heard, other than at times an interviewer directly asking, I've not heard Chris speak of what his stepson is going through while missing. Chris perceives himself as a victim, and he's ready to fight. I know that some of the interviews are very difficult to watch or listen to because the interviewers just talk and talk and talk, and they don't understand. They don't hold the information. He does. And now that he's allowing her to speak, she does. Let them speak. Let them speak for themselves. When someone asks a compound question, it allows the person being interviewed to pick and choose what he would like to answer. When they ask a multi-compound question or go on in a moralistic sense, right? There's no reason to moralize in a case like this. A child is missing. We want the information. But when they ask a multi-compound question, very likely the subject of the interview, if he is showing deceit, which Chris is now.
Chris is showing deceit, is what he's saying. Now, when people, they're not reporters are just reporters. They'll ask compound questions. But when you're asking someone, you really need specific answers, right? You need to ask one question at a time. It's so important. One question at a time. A lot of people think like Nancy's being rude, right? When she says yes, no. She'll say, she'll ask a question, yes, no. She just needs a yes or a no. Right? Let's fire away, as Mr. Foot would say. One question at a time, not compound, because they're going to pick the easiest one and work it the way they need to. You need a direct question and they need to give you a direct answer, because people who have nothing to hide nothing. When someone is missing or there's nothing nefarious going on with their story and the missing loved one. People who have nothing to hide nothing when it comes to true crime. Nancy, and who else was late? I just saw Guidance just a second ago. Guidance said somebody else was late. Lori. Okay, we got Nancy and Lori to the office, please. You're being paged. Nancy and Lori to the office, please. You're being paged. We need a late slip for Nancy and Lori. Yeah. Oh, I don't think she's rude at all, but I've heard people say that, and I just think she's to the point. She's prosecutor, right? She knows how to get those answers.
He's going to pick up on one of those things and use it for an answer because they're suggesting answers. So it's frustrating. They don't know that, they don't have training in that. And they'll go on about some personal experience and they think they're building rapport. Not with him. I said recently to someone, I've interviewed him 100 times.
Yep.
I haven't interviewed him. What I mean by that is I've hundreds of times interviewed controlled abusers. And almost always they're a step parent or a boyfriend. And his...
Did you hear that? Step parent or a boyfriend. What did I show you the other day statistically about step parents? Now, let me tell you something. There are step parents out there who are the most amazing, incredible. God bless them for stepping up. But we're not talking about those. We're talking about the step parents who it's about control, manipulation, lies. Right? Listen to this a second again.
Interviewed controlled abusers. And almost always they're a step parent or a boyfriend.
Step parent or boyfriend.
His language gives us a lot. So this morning I was listening to yet another interview, and the usual frustration of some of it is tainted by the interviewer.
Yep, ones.
Fast forward past the interviewer's monologue. It could be difficult to get any type of a pure answer. When he goes off for himself, then we get some. And this time, and you're seeing it more now, she's allowed to speak, and speak she does. So there's some things I want to talk about that, and some of the things they said that are revelatory. So I post on X, which was Twitter, short commentary, a little bit of analysis, that sort of thing, about my views of the case. In their initial interview, they...
Yes. Now, Nancy is right. Or girlfriend, yes. However, like, let's talk about like Kyra and Horman. That was a stepmother. Now, does it happen with stepmothers? Yes. Yes. Stepmothers are generally premeditated. But it's far, far more likely a stepfather. Statistically, it's far more likely a stepfather. But it does happen. I mean, with stepmothers as well. Stepmothers tend to be premeditated. Stepfathers, it tends to be a knee-jerk reaction off the cuff.
Were not just repetitive, which is sensitive, but they spoke reliably that he walked out the door.
Yep.
And of course, some with training will question about why a door, and the door is very sensitive. As they're speaking now, they're still staying to that. And consider they may be telling the truth. And what they may be concealing, what I believe they're concealing, is an altercation of some form and an escalation that was more than just that Sunday. That goes back and part of the history for at least, I think, at least 2 years. And I'll get to some of that questions.
Red Lily.
So one of the things I posted on X was that Child Protective Services should be fully engaged here in a full investigation, and they should interview everyone, including the paternal grandmother, Seth's mother. She has said she has information.
This
she
is
needs to be interviewed.
5 months ago.
She needs to be heard. She should have been interviewed by law enforcement, but no less, Child Protective Services know that. One of the things that happens with a missing child case, you say, well, why would Child Protective Services get involved in a missing child case?
Listen to this.
Because we don't know what caused the child to go missing. Now, let's say the child is a victim.
What did Mr. Foote say? He said that the search dogs, the canines, are about 20%, right? Correct? 20%. They wouldn't even use them if they were 20%. Right? I mean, 2 out of 10 times they would be correct. What would be the point?
Victim of kidnapping. Were the parents neglectful that someone was able to get into the house? Well, how could they be neglectful if someone broke into their house? Perhaps they were intoxicated. These are things that have to be known.
Hey, Trooper.
Also, patterns of behavior have to be known. So the interviews would be, with a missing child case, to find out if that child is found, should that child go back to this house again? Now, I covered quite a bit
Angel needs a chicken
while
party.
back on Summer Wells' case. And the drug involvement alone would invite all sorts of trouble onto that property. And then there was the language from the father that indicates sexual abuse. And it was a really bad case. And she's still technically missing. So we want to know, is the child in jeopardy if the child returns to this home? So we need to know what the home was like. We need to know the quality of the relationship between mother and child. We need to learn the history.
Funny.
That means, in this particular case, mother, stepfather, bio dad, grandparents, aunts, uncles, teachers, coaches, pediatrician, neighbors, anyone. And one of the questions asked, do you have concerns? And what you may learn is, yeah, we've had concerns. Or no, I don't let my
Right,
own son
Holly?
go over there, and hear the reasons why. And so it's not accusatory towards anyone.
Sebastian was telling teachers, telling classmates, and then Mr. Hyatt here is going to say here shortly that the foot was telling that the CPS agent that was at the house said that he was lying, that he, meaning Sebastian, was lying, that he could get in trouble. If that is true, shame on them. Why would anyone that's supposed to protect children say that they could get in trouble? Especially with Sebastian's past. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this little guy who's had something taken from him, has been violated under their roof before? Say you, sir, can get in trouble for reporting. Seth said that Sebastian didn't want to go home, but he wouldn't tell him what for. In my opinion, he was afraid to tell. That he would get in more trouble. But I also think, in my opinion, that the reason Sebastian is missing, in my opinion, is because someone might have been afraid that he was going to tell. In my opinion, it was a vicious cycle of control, anger, fighting, jealousy, tug of war, who's in power. You listen to me or I'm done. Done. This has been his entire life. To have 5 marriages by the time you're in your early 30s. You listen to me. I don't compromise or I'm done. And what has been alleged right before Sebastian went missing? It was, I'm done. It's beyond.
It's the gathering of information. We need to know. And so, in interviewing a pediatrician, for instance, have you had concerns? He opens the chart and maybe there's red marks there. I've addressed them. And my follow-up question to the pediatrician would be, have you met the stepfather? What was your impression? Because he leaves quite an impression. So the Child Protective Services, Department of Children and Family, whatever it's called in different states, should have been involved immediately, and Seth's mother should have been interviewed right from the start, both law enforcement and in Child Protective Services. Most of my viewers know that I'm very slow to criticize law enforcement.
You fight for what you love, right? You fight for what you love, what you can't live without, what you don't want to live without. You fight for your family whenever you're, we all need at times in our life some extra attention, little extra attention, whether we're going through an illness, a bad time, mental, whatever, right? And what are you supposed to do? Your family rallies around you. Your friends rally around you. You do everything within your power and maybe then some. And that's exactly what Seth is doing right now. Meanwhile, we had a mother and a stepfather 3.5 hours away. 3.5 hours away. My job's up in the air, but I'm also going back to work. I almost lost my job for this. Your kid going missing? How does that work? It's craziness. Angel of Light, thank you, sweetheart. Really do appreciate you so very much. Thank you for your support, my friend. Such a blessing. If you received one of those Pearl memberships, Pearl necklaces, please give our sweet Angel of Light a big, big thank you. Thank you so much, Ginger Girl. You have the cutest little dachshund. Oh my god, that's so cute. Send me pics. That's so cute. I used to have a dachshund. Her name was Chloe. Thank you so much, my dear. If you received one of those memberships from either Angel Girl, or sorry, Angel of Light, rather, sorry, my dear, or Ginger Girl, please give them a big, big thank you. Really appreciate your support. Can't do it without you, my friends. Thank you so much.
Oftentimes, there's things behind the scenes that we don't know of, and that sort of thing. This should have been done. This should have been done. The history is so important. I had said recently, there's no way this guy doesn't have Child Protective Services history. No way. And then I learned this morning from listening to that interview that apparently he set up, or he insisted upon,
Yes.
he does have TPS history. And what he said was, in 2 states, almost as if he's bragging about it. What he's doing is he's getting out in front of it.
Sorry, I actually, whenever she said, do you have this track record with, the CPS? And he said, in 2 states, the way he said it, in 2 states. Like he was bragging about it.
No way. And then I learned this morning from listening to that interview that apparently he set up, or he insisted upon, he does have TPS history. And what he said was, in 2 states, almost as if he's bragging about it. What he's doing is he's getting out in front of it. He'll answer the accusation before it hits him. And as people who are experienced with being investigated for child abuse understand, the Child Protective Services can't speak publicly about it. So the parent or step parent investigated can.
Yes, 7 True. It bothers me that there is a divide between Seth and KP. Even if they are divorced, I believe it would be better to come together. Why the separation? It's unbelievable that a mother, I don't care. There is not a good enough reason why you couldn't put your differences aside, because you two made a human being together, and that is a commitment that you made together, and that's something that you will always have together, and that's something that is forever, forever. And personally, I believe, in my opinion, there is nobody that knows you better than someone you have dated for a long period of time, been intimate with, or have been married to, right? You know what, when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're irritated, you can read them like a book. And I think, in my opinion, there is one person that is keeping her back. Keeping her back, not letting her speak to the father of her only child. It's my opinion. Now, there are others that will say, oh, well, Seth still loves her. No, he loves the son that they created together because he was remembering good times. Doesn't mean he still loves her like that. You can want the ex that from hell that you hate, right? You could go back, I promise you, and think of a time where you actually liked him or her, that you had good times together. Do you think Seth would actually be googly eyed to a woman that is not looking for their child together, doesn't seem to be, definitely is not doing any interviews at this point, being proactive as in how. The only thing he cares about is the interest of their son. And wouldn't you question the person you knew once upon a time and the mother or the father saying, he just walked out the house, but hell, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to answer questions. You would, that would be very confusing. And it's school events. Yes. Well said, June. Justin, in my opinion, I think it's CP that doesn't want them to talk. In the one interview, KP said that Seth went to the doctor's appointments and at school events. He would be the first one in the row. She seemed sincere at that time. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. If you look, Katie hasn't said really anything negative against Seth. And Seth has just been like, confused. Why are you not doing this? Like, why are you not speaking to me? Like, what happened? What's going on? Except there's one person in the middle. And in my opinion, speaking for me, I believe that is the reason, in my opinion, we are here where we are today. The continual relationships that this person gets in and gets out of and moves along is disposable. Thinks nothing of it. Changes in laws like he changes underwear. Right? Who does that? Throws something out. Relationships. Allegedly children's beds. Anything in their room. Animals. Went the child out. Come on. SL, thank you so much, my dear, for 11 months. Thank you, sweetheart. Justin, I think you're the best. You're the best. You all are the best. Every single one of you. Love you all so much. You guys are my sweet, sweet pearls. Golden Lily, in my opinion, one person messed up. In the beginning, hope for Sebastian. Golden Lily, I agree. I think, like I said, I believe that they went in this neighborhood, this middle upper class neighborhood, and said, "Oh, great hardworking family, child with autism." Of course, children with autism do walk out. Not all of them, but I think that they made a judgment and went on what they were told. And I think, in my opinion, This is where the laws need and must be changed. There must be a parallel investigation gone on. Okay, you tell me that this child walked out. Great. Okay, we're going to investigate that, but also get the hell out of the house because we're going to investigate that as well. And if you have a missing child, you don't mind because the first 3 hours, let alone 48 hours, is extraordinarily important. There needs to be a two-pronged parallel investigation when these children go missing. Uh, I've talked to you about this. I've talked to True Sleuth and I had a big conversation about this, and uh, we're we're working on some stuff to hopefully try to speak to some lawmakers about this because there has to be a two-prong investigation. It's nothing personal. We just have to do what we have to do because evidence needs to be taken in immediately, right? You can't invite the cleaning lady in, or you can't have your bleach and your mop buckets out in the meantime. Just did. Not saying that happened in this case, but in Summer Wells' case, in my opinion, drop the ball immediately. Let the parents stay overnight in that house. The police was outside. Candace is inside with her hat, walking back and forth through the kitchen. No, there has to be a two-prong investigation. So I agree. I agree. Appreciate you that Golden Lily. And Ginger, thank you so much, my dear, for gifting a pearl necklace. Thank you, my love. Really appreciate you. If you received that pearl necklace, give our Ginger a big, big thank you. Appreciate you, Sebastian's Law. Yes. Yes. RV park. Yes. Yes. I would say probably even a 10-mile radius if you ask me. But yes, exactly. It's you, there. You just have to, you know, it just has to be treated as we're going to take your word for it, and you're probably right most of the time. The family, the parents are telling the truth most of the time. But we're not talking about most of the time. We're talking about these cases where things need to be in order quickly. Quickly. Nobody's going 3.5 hours away to pick up an RV when you've only been here 48 or 50 hours or so. You just got home, right? Not happening. Trust but verify. Exactly, Lori. Exactly.
Can say anything they want, and they do.
We're going to watch it.
And the caseworker, the department that handles this, they can't speak to it anyway. So there's nothing they can say. It's all one-sided. They can give information with police, though, and should. So what does the stepfather's language reveal? And one of my associates, Jenny, did an excellent job on we call it a psycholinguistic profile, a profile based on the language. And I alluded to this when I said, I've interviewed.
Yes, Mohawk, and complain that they took your phones and say, we're not having court next week because why? Are you not expecting Sebastian to be home by next week? Remember, he's only been missing less than 50 hours.
Interviewed I've interviewed him 100 times, meaning that there's a pattern that emerges. He has the classic language of an abuser. And what I mean by classic is that it's repetitive, it's patterned, and it's easy to spot. If someone's experiencing that, they're going to know right away. Yeah, there we go. And when he was talking this, well, for me, it was this morning, but maybe it was last night when it was aired.
He sure
He
did.
confirmed everything that Jenny.
That's right. He sure did get that court rescheduled till later. Sure did. Yep.
He wrote about. He confirmed it. About being crystal clear, that emphatic forcefulness, the aggressiveness. Some of the descriptions people have used.
Yes. He is emphatic about every single thing, very enforceful. His way or no way, no room for conversating, negotiating, understanding each other. His way or the highway.
Including Jenny, combative, authoritarian. He is also acutely defensive. This is a guy that does not like to be insulted. And he went on and on and on. And he's done that defending himself. He ended up admitting that he has, nothing to hide. And then, of course, he doesn't answer questions. But in this particular case, he did about his marriages. This is his 5th marriage. And if you've seen some of the transcripts from Facebook, he's on his 5th marriage giving marital advice. That's insight into personality. I don't care how many times he's been married. I care about this poor kid. But what matters is what he's revealing. He's had 2 that he admits up to now, at least 2 CPS investigation, or at least in 2 states. I think there might be more.
I would say, in my opinion, 3 at least. In my opinion, at least 3. In my opinion, at least 3. As many as 5. In my opinion.
At one point, he was asked about Sebastian coming between them in a sense to protect his mom. And he gave a very strong laugh. A very strong laugh. Let's see if I can get that. A strong laugh. And I listened to that. I said, oh, here's the tough guy. Here's the tough guy. Here's the guy that
listen to that.
Here's the tough guy. Long laugh. And I listened to that. I said, oh, here's the tough guy. Here's the tough guy.
Yes. Would Sebastian ever get in your, get between you? Get between you. Right? If y'all were arguing. The laugh that he gave is chilling. He said something the other day, not the other day, rather, but in an interview that I was speaking about the other day. And it was something like the laugh that Peter's talking here, and you could hear it in his voice. Can't remember what it was. I'll think.
Here's the guy that laughs off that someone would need to come between them. Oh, he's come between them. I think that might have come from the dad.
Talking about such a serious topic, would Sebastian ever, come in between the two of you? That's not funny. There's nothing funny about that. Nothing funny about that. So why do you laugh?
As he's speaking more. We also learned how much he dismisses questions that are relevant. They were intelligent questions being asked over several interviews. One question that he
I agree,
became
Noni.
very dismissive of was he was asked, do you lock your refrigerator? And he acted as if it was absurd. It was the mother talking about that all Sebastian ate was sugar, which means the glucose roller coaster for him and his dysregulated emotions.
Hey,
And so that was a
sweethearty.
good question to ask. It's one of the questions I thought, hey, someone's paying attention. Someone may have some experience there. Because there's all sorts of issues around locking a refrigerator. Sometimes it's for the child's own safety. Sometimes it's because they're being treated cruelly. But it's quite nuanced. It was a great question. Another person asked, how long have you been married? And what he says is that has nothing to do with the investigation. It has everything to do with the investigation.
Everything.
Your demeanor, your relationship, what the household is like. If you're saying that he walked out the house, and I think you're telling the truth there, if you're saying he walked out.
Now, I disagree with Peter on this. I don't know if he's evolved on this. I don't think he walked out of the house. This is 5 or 6 months old. But I do personally, I don't think he walked out of the house. There's no evidence that suggests that he walked out of the house. The only thing we have evidence of is that there is a disappearance. The mother says he walked out of the house, but how does she know he walked out of the house?
We want to know why. And all these things can point to the reason why.
Oh, yes.
The language where he keeps talking about how brash he is. He's brash while his stepson is missing.
Yes. Think about that. He's brash, but respectful, right? But respectful. While his stepson is missing. What in the mullet chicken are you talking about? Why would you be brash when your stepson is missing? Brash is crystal clear, JD says. I mean, if respectful is the way that he was treating web sleuths, Trish, over there, then sorry. I guess our idea of respectful is two different things. I guess he sees respectful is different than what most of us see. I mean, I guess, 5 wives. I don't think he sees it. I honestly think that he is incapable of seeing it. Dana, thank you so very much, my sweetsies. Really appreciate you. Dana, is that a palm? Is that a Pomeranian? Is that a palm? Thank you so much, Dana, for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. If you received one of those, give our Dana a big, big thank you. Really do appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much for your support. Means so much to me. Can't do it without you, my friend. Thank you so much. Yeah, there's yeah, I just oh, she's a Chihuahua. Gotcha, sorry. It's very cute. Very cute.
And when someone says
I love
that,
to
and
see our fur babies.
you probably heard this in different phrases. Hey, I really tell it like it is. Okay, so you are someone who irritates others and brags about it. You're giving yourself a license to be that way, to be angry. No, this guy's
Check
got
and
some
see if
real
that's real
serious
Terry
anger
Lynn.
issues. He's controlling.
Terry Lynn has a wrench. I'm pretty. Maybe she's just got a wrench on my other channel. Make sure that's the real Terry Lynn, please.
He's aggressive. The mockery of
You,
Sebastian
Honey.
was rough, I think, to hear. Everything he wants to challenge and say, let's see the evidence. Let's prove it. Let's prove it. I've heard him speak a lot now.
Oh, she sent
for
y'all over
concern
here.
for himself.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about concern for Sebastian.
I need to get her a wrench over here.
It doesn't mean he killed him.
Gotcha.
It means he cares about himself. I think Sebastian,
Only
what we're seeing in the language or hearing is what Sebastian lived under. And I think Seth is telling the truth.
Gotcha, Bubble.
That Sebastian didn't wear a diaper at his house, but did at the mother's house.
Do you hear that?
Didn't wear. And I think Seth is telling the truth. That Sebastian didn't wear a diaper at his house, but did at the mother's house. That speaks to anxiety and could be worse.
Did you hear that? Seth said he didn't wear a diaper at my house. Didn't need it. Didn't need it. Anxiety and or worse. Now, at this time, this came out. We did not know the past behavior or the past things that went on in California. Right? These things happened at school occasionally, and according to the mother and the stepfather, at their house. So, can you imagine? Those things happened under their roof in California. And now he walked out of the door under their roof. They claim.
I don't want to get into that now, but in the least, it can speak to anxiety of being a 15-year-old under this super insecure, acutely defensive, controlling, narcissistic, aggressive, very little man, which may indicate that Sebastian either left on his own or was put out by the mom. I'm not beyond that one yet. Let me give you a reason. It's a hint. I don't know if it's true or not. It's a hint. Let's see if I can show it to you here. It's just a small thing that I heard her say audibly that I was concerned about. He went outside to take out the garbage because it was his chore. And what those that are in training will recognize is that there's much sensitivity there. Okay, she explains why he went outside, and you'll see this. This is the explanation of why he went outside. But then she doubles up on it. And I heard that it's now very sensitive. And it's often a sensitivity that is indicative of deliberately withheld information.
So he went outside, right? He went outside to take out the garbage. That's all you need to say. He just went outside to take out the garbage. But she goes a step further because it was his chore. Was, by the way, was his chore. Do you notice that? I don't think Peter says it in here, but was his chore. It was his chore. I think Seth's in here. I think he's listening, but he's not in chat. Past tense. Right. I believe, hey, Thomas, good to see you, buddy. I think, in my opinion, something happened right after he went back inside. Yes, Red Lily. Yeah. Why isn't it his chore now? It's always been his chore. Now she said, but she's making it past tense. Peter's going to make a different point here.
And it's often a sensitivity that is indicative of deliberately withheld information. You didn't, once you told us why he went outside, we're done. You didn't have to double up on it.
Yes, Holly. There has been a lot of things that people have said in this case. Obviously, we know that, but a lot of people say there was no scent in the house, in the backyard, in the driveway. There was Sebastian's scent inside the home. There was scent, his most current. That doesn't mean it was that day. It was just his most current scent in the yard, in the backyard, in the driveway. So yes, there was scent outside. It was just not leading to anywhere. There was no, so let's think about this. If Sebastian has his scent inside, if Sebastian has his scent outside in the back, if Sebastian has his scent in the driveway, if Sebastian walks out of that yard, then Sebastian is going to have a scent wherever he walks, especially if he is barefoot, even if he has waders on up to his, hips, he's going to have a scent on. You cannot help it. You cannot help taking your scent. It's going to go with you. It's going to leave. Also, because of the weather that night, when it's extremely dry and there's not a lot of humidity, your scent does not last as long. But because it's Tennessee, it's winter time, it's cooler, there is humidity all times of the year. Your scent is even going to last even longer. But there is more than enough. Yeah. So there's that. Terry Lynn, thank you so much, my dear, for becoming a pearl. Pearls look amazing on you, darling. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.
You did.
But listen to this. It's
the explanation of why he went outside. But then she doubles up on it. And I heard that it's now very sensitive. And it's often a sensitivity that is indicative of deliberately withheld information. You didn't, once you told us why he went outside, we're done. You didn't have to double up on it.
I want to know why they knew. We all know when our trash day is, right? We all know when it's our trash day. And it's interesting how Mr. Foote talks about he's giving us parenting advice on Smiley's, right? Giving us parenting advice on his 5th marriage and giving us parenting advice. Cool. He also says there's been times where where the mother has talked me out of it. But what I do is I go in there, I say, you know, pick up your stuff. If the stuff's not picked up, I go in there myself. I get a trash bag. I pick up whatever's on the floor and I hand it to him and I make him take it out to the garbage can and I make him take the garbage can out to the curb. Did that happen? When did that last happen? I would have loved to ask him that. When did that last happen? Did it happen, I don't know, that night? That weekend? Well, like when did it happen? Because that was his chore. You're giving us extra information and therefore, like Peter is talking about here, there is something to this because that's his chore. Or is that what stepdad does, makes him take it out? You said that's his chore? Or did stepdad make him take the stuff out? There is a scent. There is a scent. And so is that what happened that night? I don't know. But she wants us to know it's his chore. Mr. Foote wants us to know that I throw away the stuff, I put everything in a bag, I hand it to them, he takes it out, throws it in the garbage, and takes it out to the curb. Hmm. Makes you think. Now, I don't know about you, but someone that is not autistic, that's 15 years old, likes their stuff, right? Now, imagine you making someone throw their stuff in their room away. That's not going to go over too well. That's going to overwhelm him. Right? It's going to overwhelm him. And he also states that mom has stopped me before. Why did mom stop you? Because it was an ordeal. Right? It's an ordeal if this is going on. Got rid of his pets. Yes. He says mom made a decision so we could continue on our relationship, when he was going to move in, that got rid of Sebastian's two cats. And still to this day, he's not let me live that down. I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. Took a kid's cats away. It's very important. Thank you, Trishy. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Justin. This is such an important analysis. Thank you, my dear. Really is. Hey, Tony. Good to see you. In my opinion, CP is the one obsessed with money, not Seth, like the hate channels project him. Oh, no. No. Not at all. Not at all.
She did. She felt the need to double up on it. And I thought to myself, did she lock him out without his shoes at the behest, I think, of the stepfather, who shows no empathy? He has shown no empathy. He may respond
That's right, Mag.
he's fed something, but when he's speaking freely, when he's choosing his own words, when he is now off talking, he doesn't show empathy. Did he, on the phone, tell mother, lock him out?
Hey, Thomas, I saw your message earlier. I'm sorry you're going through some stuff, buddy.
Is that why she has this,
better for you.
what we call like a hyper need to explain why he was out there? His stepson is missing. He called his stepson a liar. And Chris is the victim.
Yep.
CPS isn't going to answer that.
Nope.
So they went from not speaking to now not stop speaking. He also said on this, there's someone that does a YouTube channel that he doesn't like. And this is his theme, that he's giving these interviews to make things crystal clear, of course, the emphasis, but supposedly to get his stepson's name and face out there still. And then he says, but he won't do an interview with this one fellow because he's making money off it. And you see in some of these interviews, thank you for your $10. And, it seems like a...
Yes, remember he was saying that about JLR, that he wouldn't go on JLR's because JLR was making money. Well, it's not costing them anything. Not costing him anything at all. Well, the news makes money, right? So you would rather JLR or another YouTuber not get paid by the people, you guys, that pay us for what we do, and ad revenue, which is almost nothing, but then actually put Sebastian's name out there at no cost to you. You would rather not have his name out there than you would have a very large platform put Sebastian's name out. Now tell me what kind of sense this man, Mr. Foot, is talking about. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yes, it I guess it just depends on which channels makes money in that case. I've never understood why anybody is worried about anyone else's channel or how much they make. It's your subscribers who are your members and people who donate. Y'all are the one that donates us. but he would rather, in this case, we're talking about JLR, uh, not put Sebastian's name out with him on there because he might make a coin over actually doing what he says he wants, and that is getting Sebastian's name out. Who's the one worried about money? Okay. Sounds like it's him, in my opinion.
A televangelist type of deal. And it's distasteful. Would that stop you from getting your missing child's name and face out there? Would you really care?
Thank you, Hot Mess.
And then he demands respect. He demanded it from Sebastian, and he demands it from the audience.
Mr. Chris.
He's making demands on people he has no control over. He's trying to control the narrative. So my opinion on what happened is that he got locked out of the house, and both are responsible. And I think there's much more in terms of domestic violence and child protective services involvement than his minimizing statement about it. Much more. This is an angry man. He's not afraid to show his anger. He'll call himself brash over and over and over. The one thing I found that was quite scripted was the mother is really good at repeating. And he said, "I love you, Mama." And I think some people don't understand why I flagged that, why it's so important. It's generally a sign that someone has a need to persuade what a wonderful relationship we have. It's not that you or I say, "I love you" to your children, or your children say it to you. That's expected. It's the need to make that public and make it public repeatedly. So I can say, and he said, "I love you, Mama," and then totally forget about supposedly searching the house and getting in the car and driving around. Because the priority is self-defense. I think they caused his disappearance.
The priority is making them sound like they did it the right way, but it doesn't add up. There is too many things that doesn't add up, in my opinion. Nobody looks for 1 to 3 minutes, right? 1 to 3 minutes, if that, right? And then immediately and allegedly no lights coming on, and then not going out in the yard and screaming, but getting straight in the car. Before you're in the car, you're on the phone with your husband 3.5 hours away. You don't call the bio father and ask, "Do you know where Sebastian is? I woke up this morning and he's not here." Right? I can understand panic. Anybody would be panicked. But 1 to 3 minutes in that entire house? But her first thing was he might have gotten up and gotten breakfast. Because he did that sometimes. But you walk past the kitchen. You walk past the kitchen. Kids are not quiet. They're slamming cabinet doors, right? You can hear the cereal hit the bowls, everything. That's right, Kelsey. Exactly. Exactly, Primrose. Even if Sebastian had not been one to visit any of the neighbors, why would you not check by going to some of the neighbors prior houses prior to driving to school, I would be banging on neighbors' doors. Sugar water. Edgar, your skin is hanging off your bones.
because an abusive household that he was raised in. He's the language of a classic abuser. And the targets are generally women and children. So
Women
let
and
me see if they
children.
have any questions and rebuttals, please.
That is exactly who abusers love to abuse. They don't abuse other men, right? They abuse women and children. And look at the history. Look at the history. 5 times a serial matrimonist, what I call him. Right? The story, listen, we know, let's just think about this a second. We know what we know with this marriage, right? With that was going on in the house, what they have told us with their own lips. We know Nina's account, and I believe every word that woman said, every single word that woman said. Now think of what Nina said, right? This happened in December of 2023, some of it. Chasing Nina in the airport in a in a Facebook live in December. These POs against each other. Right? The alleged throwing away of the the bed, the 3-year-old child's beds, the braces, alleged slap, all of this. That's 2 marriages. Right? 2 marriages. What about the other 3? What about the other 3? Because the 2 that we know of, it doesn't sound like a good things is happening there. Right? Holly, thank you, my dear. I thought him saying web spoke volumes. Yes. Yep. That's how he, in my opinion, sees women. Yes, I agree. I agree, Holly. Yes. Spirit Speaker, so happy you're doing this review. Great follow up to my last live stream. We discussed what the mountain of evidence, aka red flags, are and how many. Yes. Thank you so much, sweet spirit seeker. Love you bunches, my friend. Thank you so much. Just wait till CP's daughter is. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. There was the family dynamic, in my opinion, from December, from pretty much Sebastian's birthday up until, in my opinion, the morning or the night before Sebastian went missing. There was a lot of stuff. I've showed you. And these are all things that they have claimed with their own words. Everything.
Because I don't know what happened and I don't know language. He was fed that a couple times by a couple interviewers, but he didn't offer any help for stepfather's language. He doesn't offer any hope. He was fed that a couple times by a couple interviewers, but he doesn't offer any help. It's natural that after all this time that he would be the first to crack. Based on his language, he did not have a good relationship with Sebastian. Based on his language. So he'd be the first one of denial, whereas you'll hear the father who will come probably second, and the mother is still speaking as if he's alive. And again,
it's actually been the opposite, right? It's actually been the opposite. I'm sure that I'm not the only creator that there's been people that's reached out about the foot, and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Justin, I listened to this all while driving. One of your best. Oh, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
again, with respect to those who have the opinion that there was more direct involvement, but I think that he was put out. I think it was discipline at this point. And, if more information comes out, if they get some clean interviews, it may look differently. But if I am with Child Protective, if I am with the law enforcement, I'm looking at an abusive household that Sebastian wanted to get away from. Some of your theories or questions, let's see if I can take them here. Again, a lot of the questions are going to be, I don't know. Where did they take him to teach him a lesson? I don't know. I don't think they took him anywhere. I think that long phone call may have been, hey, he didn't come back. He didn't come back. Well, just wait.
Now, I don't know if Peters has evolved on this. I personally don't believe that he was put out at all. I believe he was, in my opinion, taken out for one reason. But I just want to show you this. This is what we know based upon things that they have, one or the other parent has discussed. December, Sebastian's birthday. December is a very stressful month for a lot of us, right? Sebastian's birthday. You got a birthday, stressful. Christmas, stressful. Then CPS, right? CPS. Nina and Mr. Foot. This is the chasing down the airport with the Facebook Live while KK's cackling. No contact. Tennessee, New Mexico. January. Mr. Foot says he has been home many times in January. End of January, alleged CPS. This is when Mr. Foot says, Sebastian, you have a 15-year-old sitting there at the table. He's being punished because I guess allegedly he had went to the school and told. And this is when Sebastian's sitting there at the table, mad. And the CPS lady comes and says, "Sir, you could get in trouble." Blaming a child? Blaming a child. You could get in trouble? He felt like he needed to tell. And you had already whipped him, your words, with the belt because he lied about not having a belt, but he's still being punished. He's sitting at the dinner table, still being punished, even a day later, or 2, maybe 3 days later. He's still being punished at the table. I thought a spanking for those that whip their kids, I thought that was the punishment. Now think about this. For getting a damn belt, you get a spanking, number one. That's ridiculous. And number 2, you're still sitting at the table not happy because you're still being punished. And this is when Mr. Foot says, "Eat your food." And we've been fine ever since. But were you really fine? Were you really fine? Now, February rolls around, and Mr. Foot says he leaves February 5th. But he says they haven't been home since February. He hasn't been home since February 5th. But he also says he can't tell you if he was home between February 5th and the up until the morning Sebastian goes missing. Now think about that. Because law enforcement has dictated him not to. Because he's a dictator, because he's a dick and he looks like a tater, in my opinion. So, you haven't been home up until February 5th, but also you can't tell us because law enforcement has dictated you not to. But you can tell us you've been up to the house up until the 5th, but not after the 5th. And you can tell us you've been home many days in January and only 5 days in February. But nothing else. Nothing else. February 6th, 2 lines disconnected. It's interesting, isn't it? 2 phone lines disconnected. Sebastian goes missing goes to bed on the night allegedly goes to bed at around 9 o'clock on the 25th. Mom goes to wake him up, and he's gone. CPS opens up another case because he's missing. This happens many times. Also in February that month, there is the Nina Foot Court. December, CPS allegedly. January, CPS allegedly. February, CPS allegedly. 3 single months. We've got exes being chased down the airport. We've got no contact orders. We've got custody cases. We've got birthdays. We've got Christmas. You've got being spanked with a belt and still being punished after you've been spanked with the belt, sitting at the table. You got can't tell us when you've been home after the 5th, but you can tell us you've been home up until the 5th. You can't. You can tell us that you was home many days in January. Your stepson goes missing at the February 25th into the 26th. You also have a CPS open case, and you have a child court case. Yes, I agree with that comment. I agree with that comment. So that's why I wanted to answer that one reading. That's when his birthday. That's when his birthday was there. So thank you for that. Holly S. Thank you, my dear. If we have time, can we watch Mandy's video comparing KP and Stefan Stearns? Of course. Of course. If it's okay with Mandy, our dear sweet Mandy. Lady for Justice. Thank you, my dear. New timeline 6 a.m. Sebastian missing unknown call. Call to Seth 6:20 a.m. Call directly to dispatch 6:33. Yes. Lady for Justice, I actually, in my opinion, I believe that there was calls before 6 a.m. I believe there was calls before 6 a.m. because if family, and I played a clip last night, we have Mr. Foote saying that he did call his mom. Or what? I don't think he said mom specifically. I correct that. Scratch that. Maybe he did. We'll just say family. So they could, be over there. We played that last night. If they're there by 6:30 searching, then they had to be called before 6 a.m. It's my newest video, not my live stream, so you can see the comparison video. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Mandy. Please drop Spirit Seeker's channel link in chat, please. Make sure you're subbed up to her. Spirit Seeker is amazing. Really, really cares about these. So there's that. Wanted to show you there. A lot was happening. A lot was happening. In these cases.
He's got to learn. He's got to learn. This guy thinks he's a tough guy, meaning the stepfather.
360 Life. Yep. I mean, if Sebastian walked out of the door, butterflies, if he walked out of the door like they say, I would be like, here's the data, take it and weep, mother chicken. That's what I would be saying. Right? You want to see my time slip? Here you go, boo-boo. That's what I would be saying. But they're hunkered down. 3.5 hours away from where Sebastian allegedly, was last seen missing.
Concern is that he fell into water and he hasn't been recovered yet. That's my fear. My hope is that he met off with someone to run away and they're hiding him. That becomes weaker and weaker because the person that did that is putting.
Now, again, this is an older video. Hey, dogs and decor. Good to see you, honey. But I don't know if his thoughts on this has changed. He's dealing with enough right now, Peter.
Themselves in
God
legal
bless you.
risk. They could have gone directly to police and directly to Child Protective Services, the authorities, and got some form of sanctuary for Sebastian. There's always a rush to blame Child Protective Services. Remember, what they believe and what they can prove sometimes is two different things, very similar with law enforcement.
Yes. And I was speaking to a law enforcement officer in Phoenix recently, this past summer. And he said, off the cuff, what we know and what we can prove are two different things sometimes. Exactly
His
what he
special
said.
needs and his behaviors were significant. And stepfather's telling us that. The repeating of the personal space.
No, DC3, Nancy asked for Mr. Foote if he had taken a lie detector test from TBI or any other, and he said, no, they told me that I didn't need to take one based upon where I was the morning Sebastian went missing. She said, cool. Okay. Would you take a lie detector test? And he said, name the time and place. Well, Nancy named the time and place. And then he magically says, TBI said they'll give him a lie detector test, which he also says it's an open book cheat test. His words, again, not mine. And says that he should not, they've told him that he should not take Nancy's lie detector test. They don't give a wooden nickel or a wooden foot if he takes a lie detector test for any reason at all. They ask their questions, they'll ask their questions. He can take a lie detector test of whether he had a steak yesterday or not. It doesn't matter. Can't be held up in court, can't be held up at all. Just makes you wonder why. In my opinion, I think I
Mom
know
saying,
why.
you don't go into your teenage son's bedroom at night. They're telling you. They're telling you. When you think about a child going missing, how the parents, the innocent parents, how they talk. They're always concerned with what the child is experiencing right at the moment, and they bring it back. And they sometimes talk about themselves when they're asked about it, but then they go back to the child. You cherish every moment. They're what we call high hormonal events, which leave imprinting or etching upon the brain. You don't call a victim a liar.
Yes, Wist. Can you imagine? And this is his words. Sebastian thought he was going to get me kicked out of my house. Can you imagine? And we know that CPS in many cases will remove the what they call the quote alleged perpetrator in quote. Him working all those hours. Chris is a hard worker. You give him that, right? Give credit where credit's due. He's a hard worker. But the rage, the pride, the anger. Can you imagine him working, being kicked out of his house that he's making the payment for? Don't think that would go over too well. in my opinion.
No shoes, no jacket. If that was discipline, it's pretty harsh. Good comment. I think he experienced worse. Yeah. When you're talking about this type of autism with a 15-year-old, so you have puberty now coming in, you have someone who's not regulated as others are.
Yes.
Because that's why I say, no, this was not mild. If I was his bio dad, I probably.
In my opinion, Mr. Foot did not understand autism. And Peter just summed it up beautifully right there. You're not regulated like you and I are. So things that might bother Sebastian and he go, spiraling. I think he just thought this was just a kid that was just being ungrateful or whiny or whatever you want to call it. I don't think he understood, and I don't think he had the patience. I don't think he's got the patience for really anything except himself, in my opinion. Defiant.
Would say it was mild because I can't accept. I say, no, this was not mild. If I was his bio dad, I probably would say it was mild because I can't accept.
I agree.
How things are. And I understand how challenging that would be, how difficult, what a heavy childcare burden that must be. And he apparently wanted friends terribly.
Yep.
And that didn't work out. I also wonder if some of the neighbors who wouldn't let their kids go over also said, we don't want to be around that guy, Chris. That wouldn't be surprising at all. You hear of someone with that type of.
There was, I'll just say this. How do you think the neighbors knew that they were having alleged marital trouble? How would neighbors know that this is going on? Yes, I think that's yes, Justin. He thought he could discipline the autism out of Sebastian. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Anger. I don't want my child, special needs or not, around someone angry. He accused Sebastian of lying to the Child Protective Services. Yeah, regarding the neighbors, I think he was very isolated, and that could have been up. The description of the autism, I think, is, there's an expectation that loving parents will minimize because it's very hard to accept. He had struggles.
They drive just regular vehicles, Tina.
I wish for immediate legislation to protect children from predatory and abusive non-biological guardians.
There's all kinds of kids in the neighborhood.
Laws don't stop that sort of thing. We have a case here in Maine where, and this actually is a parallel, where
well,
the boy was beat to death by mother, father, and grandmother. He was still alive when he was brought to the hospital, and they did CPR on him, and the head charge nurse came out and told the mother and the grandmother, hey, his pulse is back, which the expectation would be wonderful news. They both chimed in to say, but he's a liar. They were concerned about what he would say. They're both charged with murder now, along with the father. But all the laws in the world, we have the same laws that protect you and I as parents and can be exploited by others. Can't be there 24/7. What we can do is enforce laws, and that would be a different type of solution. Chris is laughing. Great question. What does Chris's inappropriate laughing indicate? He is dismissive. He is very high-minded. He has a very high opinion of his own opinion. He used manipulative language. He will divert. He will pause to repeat a question, and he's not reading so much, but when he's asked that verbally, as if to dismiss it. The laughter that bothered me most was the claim, which I think came from Dad, the claim that Sebastian had to get between his mother and stepfather, of which this guy says he had to call me Mr. Chris.
Me too, Nancy. Me too.
So good question. I think that was high-minded dismissiveness. Also, I think it was probably insightful to what Sebastian experienced. Martina.
Sherry, thank you so much for becoming a pearl, my dear. Really appreciate you. Welcome to the family. Pearls look amazing on you, Sherry. Thank you so much for your support. Now, please welcome our new pearl, Miss Sherry. Sherry, lady, living in that song.
Asking, can you see the mother snapped in the language? I'm not sure what that means.
Foster mom, what do you mean there has to be a scent period?
Yeah, I think there's quite a story to tell about New Mexico. Yeah, great point by Jason. Jason, Peter, although you've mentioned you hope he's with someone hiding him, I also hope, and he's not with someone with darker intentions. Well put, Jason, and that was some of the thoughts with Summer Wells, which she trafficked. Yeah, someone said it's very triggering to listen to him. He infuriates people. And I think his language reveals that he likes it. He likes the confrontation. I think he is, someone wrote, I feel like Chris enjoys the attention he's getting. He does.
Yes, Maurice. Yes,
in his mind, through his language, he's setting the record straight.
Yes, Maurice. Justin, so CP had 2 CPS cases in that house. As he said, the same worker come over. Oh, hi, it's you. So not the woman from New Mexico case. Yes, exactly. I hope so too. I hope he said, me too. Other parents of missing kids could care less of marital problems. Sometimes they even let people know. We'll look at Gabby's parents. You know, they two-step parents, and they came together. Oh my goodness, Truth Sleuth, thank you, darling. Thank you so much. Justin, what upsets me is it seems that neither CP nor KP chose to learn about autism. In my opinion, the fact that they decided to not seek out education or support opportunities for Sebastian or themselves contributed to Sebastian's poor treatment and disappearance. Yes. And that's something that Seth was upset about, that uh that he didn't feel like he was getting the therapy that he actually needed as well. And so that's another part of it, right? I want to show you this great video that our dear Spirit Seeker did. Thank you, sweet Truth Sleuth, my lovies. Appreciate you so much, my love. Let me put Spirit Seeker. Mods, please drop Spirit Seeker's link. This is comparing Stephen Stearns and Katie Proudfoot. This is shocking.
Yeah, all these things stack up. And, by calling one thing out, I'm not going to hang my hat on that. But when I have several that stack up, I call it the mountain of evidence. It's being built, and until it gets to a point where it just can't sustain itself and it kind of just implodes.
Very well stated, Mohawk. There was an agreement of no corporal punishment to be done to Sebastian, yet CP did use that punishment. He feels rules do not apply to him, in my opinion.
It just fall. You can't stack any more on it, and it all is based on human nature. It's based on how we've been acting and what we expect from a biological mother for many years. And now I know that everybody has different issues and things, and some people have said, well, Candace grew up in a different environment, so she might think a little bit different. Well, that's true. We all are different, but human nature dictates that, and that's why I say, okay, I'm just going to highlight this because I'm seeing this, but she might say something later on that clarifies that, and I'll take it off the table. It's gone.
Steve Johnson offers classes, by the way. His classes are amazing. They're affordable if you're interested in them.
Erase it. She might say something later on that makes that even stronger, a stronger trait of denigration. And so now my highlight, my what I underlined before now becomes a highlight. It's definitely a red flag. And so that's what we're doing as we go along. And that's how we come to our conclusion at the end. We look at everything. Some things we take off the table. Some things are now in bold and highlighted, and they're even more important. So yeah, they all stack up.
Yeah. I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said, thanks. Love you too.
He said, I love you, Mama. And he said, I love you, puppies. He said, good night, Mom. I love you. Say good night to his puppies. It's time to go to bed. And he goes, okay. Good night, Mama. I love you. And then he said good night to his puppies. And he went to bed.
That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
It is not normal behavior. She's not the type that would just run off.
What are you thinking?
My son doesn't run. He's not a runner. He's never run away before.
We don't know where she can be. And we're scared. We just want her home.
That is what it is, Basil. You're right.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer.
So fake. So fake.
She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day.
We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room.
It's hard not to blame myself.
What has the conversation been with Jen since?
She's been a lot stronger than me.
They're amazing, but they still haven't brought my baby back.
They will.
She's been holding it together really well. And,
I don't remember that. I don't remember Chris saying that. That's interesting.
But it just keeps coming in waves. This reality keeps hitting. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe.
I agree too.
We're just scared. We just want her home.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I even went out with the cops where I had dropped her off. And we looked all up and down the road, all on communities, and there was...
Yeah, remember Mr. Fitz said, I rode around with the cops.
Nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing, which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her.
But remember, there was cameras. He didn't think there was, but there was. Huh.
Waiting around in the parking lot for a while before.
Mr. Foote says those cameras in the back has nothing to do with it. Except there's people with flashlights, and Sebastian supposedly left with a flashlight. But it has nothing to do with it.
Before moving on, and that was it. But it was grainy. It was grainy footage and not much else.
Does it seem like she walked west, east?
They said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
Good point, Ginger.
So, I mean, the $1 million question, why did he go? And the other $1 million question is how.
What about something?
What was the language? Not language verbally, language, body language. When you dropped her off, did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to meet my friends?
Happy. She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had her 13th birthday party.
Sure did, Tori.
A really good weekend.
He did have a really good weekend, actually.
She was happy that we were all together here, and she was just very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and we just not knowing.
So the unknown is killing you.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. Not feeling her presence here is... Sorry. It's hard.
I know you're fine. Don't need to apologize. What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl.
Describe him.
Sweet, stubborn.
You coexist.
Just please be nice to her. Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she's okay.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence, waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her being missing for over 24 hours right now. In one complete sentence, what would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other. And I just want to wake up you just get hit with waves of the reality just it's setting in. As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart. We knew it wasn't going to come to an end. And now we're going on 24 hours and still nothing. Conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive and none of it's helpful. We just want our baby girl back.
He was missing.
I honestly didn't notice anything that was like, oh my God, that's weird, you know? I mean, we had a really good day. You know, he wasn't in trouble at all. We went to bed on a good note. And I don't know if maybe he just wasn't saying something. But nothing, and I've gone over this so many times, I'm ill, but I didn't see or notice anything that was like red flag, you know?
Okay. He didn't have any meltdowns or anything like that seemed off.
No, he was actually really well behaved that day. He was even keel for the most part all day.
Chris's breakdown. No. What do you mean?
7 years ago, Arlie Russell Hochschild.
What do you mean, Chris's breakdown of Jen Soto's? Chris McDonough? I was thinking that other Chris. That was very, very good Spirit Seeker. Uncanny. Yes, very, very good. I watch all of Chris. I've been a member for Chris's. I've been with Chris McDonough's channel since he was a little channel, from the time he called Barry Morphew. Before that, actually, even kneeled in a military term for smooth sailing. Yep. All right, guys. Well, want to thank you all so very much. Did we get 1,000 thumbs up for our chicken party? Stefan Cerns is about as sick as they get. It's fake cry. Did y'all, when CP was asked what should happen to the person who may have taken Sebastian, he said, "All that would be up to law enforcement." Thank you, guys. 860. Okay. All right. I watched him when he was with Mike. Yep. Long time ago. He wasn't in trouble at all. Seems he was always in trouble, KK, and you allowed that. Well, I think there might be. I don't think that we have honestly even scratched the surface yet with what we might learn in the future. Thank you, sweet Grace. Thank you, like fun. I don't know if we're gonna get to 1,000 tonight, guys. I don't think we're gonna get it tonight. Thank you, Drew Sleuth, One Ringy, Trishy, Amanda, K-Mac, Coco, Butterflies, Angel, yes, Roundup, love you too. We need 1,000 likes. Yeah. Thoughts on what might happen in court on the 10th? I have no idea. I don't think that she was following anybody. I don't think that someone that drives halfway across the country should go to jail for putting out flyers when we saw with our own eyes that he was behind her. So it's not like so, but I don't know. You know, you want to play one of Sebastian's songs? Yeah, we can do that. Let's see here.
Ooh, where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Ooh. Strangers out searching in the dead of night for a child who's missing. Where are you? Day after day all around the world, your name is spoken. Where are you? Where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Where are you? We all look at your picture, you don't know our names, but we love you, we love you. Every day so many strangers are fighting for you. Where are you? Where are you? They build brick walls to stop us. Why would they play that game? Why would they try to stop us? They should hang their heads in shame. We'll carry sticks and stones, they won't break our bones. In our search to find you, boy, we will find you. We'll find you. Ooh, ooh, where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Where are you? Why aren't they crying out for you? Why aren't they crying, those two, hand-faced and cold with hearts of stone? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? We love you, we love you. Ooh, 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 where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Where are you? We are you. We love you. We love you. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Ooh. Strangers out searching in the dead of night for a child who's missing. Where are you? Day after day all around the world, your name is spoken. Where are you? Where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Where are you? We all look at your picture, you don't know our names, but we love you, we love you. Every day so many strangers are fighting for you. Where are you? Where are you? They build brick walls to stop us. Why would they play that game? Why would they try to stop us? They should hang their heads in shame. We'll carry sticks and stones, they won't break our bones. In our search to find you, boy, we will find you. We'll find you. Ooh, ooh, where are you? Ooh, Ooh, where are you? Where are you? Why aren't they crying out for you? Why aren't they crying? Those two, hand-faced and cold with hearts of stone. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? We love you, we love you. Ooh, 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 where are you? Ooh, ooh, where are you? Where are you? We are you. We love you. We love you. Ooh, ooh. Never stop searching. We will never stop searching for you. For you. For you. From Hendersonville to Nashville, country roads and mountains high, people out searching, looking for you. We will search until the day we die. We will search where the breeze takes us, where the sun shines, where the rain falls. We will follow the birds as the crow flies in search of you. Today, tomorrow, and all year through. Never stop searching, we will never stop searching for you.
Thank you, sweet Tori.
For you. Your smile lit up the world, you know. You now have 1 million friends. People genuinely love you, and our search will never end. Never stop searching, we will never stop searching for you. For you. For you. Never stop searching. We will never stop searching for you. For you. For you. Million hearts are breaking each new day that passes by. We wake up wondering where you are. Every day we cry. Never stop searching, we will never stop searching for you. For you. For you. Never stop searching. We will never stop searching for you. For you. For you.
All right, guys. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all. Never gonna stop. Can't imagine how Seth feels. Can't imagine. But hopefully answers are just right around the bend. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I may be live in a little bit on Hey Sweetie. So join me over there maybe in a little bit. It'll be a pop-up live if it does. Love you guys so much. Appreciate every single one of you. Prayers. Please pray for Sebastian and everyone searching, everyone on this case. Special thanks to Peter Hyatt. Prayers for him and his family. Thank you, Mandy, for Spirit Seeker, for sharing her video. And thank you all for being here day in and day out. Really do appreciate you. God bless each and every single one of you. Good night.